They were looking to make life easier for their handicapped son, but an Orchard Park couple claim they were scammed in the process.
Here's Call for Action's Al Vaughters with today's special assignment. Al?
Well, Southtown's family bought a new minivan to blaze new trails for their son who's in a wheelchair. Instead, it seems more like a dead-end street with their van in another state at a company that's out of business. Mike and Julie O'Connor struggled to lift 11-year-old Rory out of his wheelchair and into the car seat he had outgrown got to be too much. So they bought a new minivan.
So the bigger he got, obviously the more strain that put on my back, because not only am I doing that, but I'm also doing things around the house with him.
A federal program helps to cover the cost of making a family car wheelchair accessible. But the O'Connors were surprised to find out the state requires them to go with the lowest bidder rather than a vendor of their choice. They even offered to pay the $350 difference.
They said, oh, you can't. You have to go with the lowest bidder.
So they turned their Toyota Sienna over to the local vendor, who shipped their van off to a subcontractor in Michigan, Autovan, to perform the actual modifications. That's when the nightmare started. Calls to Autovan weren't returned, even to the local vendor, Boulevard Van City, that contracted the work to the Michigan company.
And that's when it came to my understanding that, Autovan was shut down. Another conversion company came along.
Months go by and the O'Connors finally get a glimpse of their van on that new company's website. And it's for sale.
See it?
But they are advertising for sale.
What? Yeah, that's our van, for real.
I was livid. I was very, very upset. The VIN number matched exactly. It's our van.
And the O'Connors were still struggling with their old minivan until Mike sent a terse email to Boulevard Van City demanding a loaner. Sutherland told us after all that time he didn't know the Connors' old van wasn't wheelchair accessible.
He had told me at that time that they did not, have a wheelchair van, and so this was a blessing. I mean, the family really appreciated, having the loaner.
I finally was forced to threaten the company and the owner.
Finally, 9 months after they last drove their Sienna, the O'Connors got their new adapted wheelchair van.
It's great. It's really great to have our van back. We sort of never, at one point, realized maybe we'd never see it again, but here it is, and we're thrilled.
The Michigan Attorney General has received consumer complaints against Autovan. The state records there indicate the company is still in business, another mystery. New rules now call for local service coordinators to bid out accessibility work, which could take the decision-making out of the consumer's hands altogether.
That's infuriating. Now, why couldn't they have the modifications done here in New York State? Why did they have to send it out of state?
Real good question. That's one of the first questions I asked. The modifications for passenger vehicles are held to very strict government specifications. Complying with those specs is cost prohibitive to most New York companies. They just can't afford it.
Now, Al, is this program just for families with children, or can anyone else get into it?
Joe, this specific program is just for kids, and it actually saves money by allowing families to care for kids with severe disabilities or medical issues at home. Now, automakers are getting involved in mobility issues for adults by providing a stipend, usually up to $1,000, to improve their van's accessibility. That's for adults, and it helps.
So many complications for something they want to just make somebody's life easier.
Yeah, make it easier,
right?
but it becomes so hard.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much, Al.
Sure.